Morning, guys. Monster, mystery, or sack. Are the subscription tackle services worth the money? Yes, but not for the reason that you think. Stick around, I'll explain. Okay, yep, it's early, and I haven't been on the water in a couple weeks, so I'm getting a little antsy, but I wanted to talk to you guys for a few minutes this morning about the subscription tackle services. Now, all of these are paid for. None of this is sponsored money. Yes, we are going to do an unboxing, which is really not my thing, but I'm trying to teach you guys something about your habits and why you're limiting yourself with your fishing ability. All right, now, what do I mean by that? Well, most of us, and I was included in that, looked at these mystery tackle box, monster box, 6 cents sack as a way to get maybe cheaper tackle in the bundle. You know, you buy a box. These are all about $30 a month on a subscription basis. I bought myself one of these, but my enabling wife, who would prefer I fish every day and not work nearly as much, started me on this a couple years ago. She bought me a mystery tackle box, and then I bought the 6 cents box for myself. And then this year I get the monster box as well too, as a present from the enabler. But I used to look at these the wrong way. Like, you know, when I open these in a few minutes, most people would look at it like, well, that's a good deal because I would use that anyway. That's not how we're going to look at these. That's not the value in these. What we're going to do is we're going to open them up and we're going to look at the tackle that's in here that you don't use. That's where the value is. I'll explain that more as soon as we start opening these right now. Alright, so for the last 10 years or so, I have made a New Year's resolution to learn a new technique or fish a different kind of bait. And, you know, I'll start off in the first of the year doing that, and before too long, I'm back to my old habits. My old habits catch fish. However, a few years ago, I took a trip down to the Glades to fish with Captain Lou and JJ. And for 2 days, I was not in my boat. I had none of my tackle. And I was forced to learn how to fish the Everglades, Miami canals style of fishing. Completely foreign to me. Being a Kissimmee fisherman, power, big weight, crash through, thick stuff, that kind of fishing. What I learned in those 2 days, because I'm not stuck in my ways, I saw how to use light tackle, small baits, patient fishing, and on my 4-hour drive back home, I decided that I was going to take those techniques and the techniques that I watch on TV from like the MLF, where they're fishing Michigan or Maine or the Great Lakes, and they're fishing clear water, highly pressured fish, even smallmouth, you know, trying to take a technique that you wouldn't normally use in Florida and apply it to our water here and see what kind of results I got. Well, to my amazement, using a lot of the South Florida techniques, I started catching more fish. And then I'm thinking to myself, well, all right, I'm catching more fish, but I'm not catching bigger fish. Well, I was wrong about that too. Using new techniques, to me, changed the way I was looking at my home waters. So we're going to open these boxes up. We're going to identify what we would probably use already and what I have in my tackle box and what you have in yours. But more importantly, we're going to discuss what I don't use or what you don't use and ways to use it, and maybe catch some fish that you could have caught last week but didn't, just by changing some techniques. So here we go. Let's start with the first one, the mystery tackle box. That's the first one I started getting. I got it a few years ago for myself just as a trial, but I didn't see the value in it then. This was the first one Amy got me. So mystery tackle box. Now let's look at what comes in a box. Alright, so we have Atlas spinnerbait. One of the baits that I don't use a lot. I probably should more, especially this time of year. 3/8 ounce spinnerbait. Sticker. Everybody loves stickers. The Trago Spintail. Now, I have just started using something similar that I got from 6 Cents a couple months ago. And I haven't had any success with it, but this is the kind of bait that that the fish aren't going to see very often in Florida. But if you start fishing something in an area where you know you have fish, something like this could pick up the really finicky fish, because this is going to look like a tiny shad. When you get into balls of shad that you can't downsize enough, pick up something like this. Alright, so we got a stand-up Sparky jig. Nothing wrong with a jig. A rattlebot crawl. Huh, that looks like nothing I've ever seen. It's a lipless crank, bio spawn. And I imagine that's pretty expensive. I don't know what they cost, but it's a decent looking bait. Tightrope baby firework super jig. So this is a tiny jig. You might throw this with a very small trailer on a shell bar. The Golden Boy, it's a square bill crankbait. This is Carl's, so don't know who makes it for them, but it looks a lot like a Strike King. Proven design, tournament grade, factory direct. Okay, whatever that means, but good square bill for, again, working very shallow over the shell bars or even around brush piles for me. Good bait. An Excite square bill. It's got a lot of purple in it, which is a good color this time of year for Central Florida. It's going to look a lot like a bluegill. Your tried and true, the Vile Bug, just a flipping bug. Great trailer, especially right now when the fish are coming on the outside lines of the Kissimmee grass. Put a 1 ounce weight on it or a 3/4 and put it in a heavy grass on a Texas rig for me. We got some Prism hooks. It's only a 2-pack. Looks like 2 different sizes. Just EWG offset worm hook. So, and inside the mystery box we got some tips, which these are really interesting. They're not always applicable to stuff that you do right now, but if you read through this stuff, snook fishing, walleye fishing, read through these techniques for somewhere else and just imagine how you could use those techniques here on Kissimmee. So that's the mystery tackle box. I'm not going to count up how much money I think it's worth, but there's several baits in here that, this one is the most interesting for me, that I've just started using. And then you've got your 2 square bills, you got a lipless, some hooks, spinnerbait, couple jigs, and some trailers. Probably worth $30 if you went and bought it all individually, but most importantly, it's going to make you think about things differently if you take the right approach to opening these boxes. Alright, that was the mystery tackle box. Now let's open the Monster Bass Catch Greatness box. Okay, similar setup. Again, there's a lot of good information in here. It may not be pertinent exactly to Florida at the moment, but if you will read through these techniques in the tackle and the pointers from the pros, you're going to pick up something that you're not doing right now that will help you catch more fish. All right, let's see what we got. All right, we got a Lunker Candy. We got a red, looks like a medium diving crankbait. Might even be a deep. Delta Crawl, dive 6 to 8. There you go. Rattle Trap. It's called a Thunderhawk Lures SGT half ounce. Good color. Be a good way to cover water, especially the shallow flats right now. The Flat Daddy. So we got a flat-sided square bill. Looks like it dives 3 to 6. Interesting color. It's got a little bit of a golden shiner color to it. Yep, worth giving it a shot. KVD Perfect Plastics. Fat Baby Finesse. Now, one of the things I did learn on that trip to Miami a few years ago is that I downsized, especially most of my plastics and my gear to throw my Texas rig plastics on it. You see me throwing a lot of baits, making a lot of casts with a medium light extra fast rod. Now I've got 4 of them I built for myself, a couple for jerk baits, 1 for top water, and I'm gonna get one for a drop shot, and 1 I use as a tiny Texas rig for a bait like this. Very slow. An X-Zone, this looks like a Cinco type worm. It's the True Center stick worm. 8-inch green pumpkin black flake. Good color for cleaner water. I have no idea what this is. The monster, oh, it's a wacky rig tool. I don't fish wacky rig very often, but that's one of the things that I need to put in my repertoire. But it's the tool for rigging the wacky rig to protect your bait. I'm gonna try that one for sure. All right, Monster Bass tungsten weights. These look like nail weights. 1/16 ounce. So again, a rig that I have never thrown, like a Ned rig, or I don't know how you use these, so I'm going to have to read the book, figure out how to use these to their best advantage. And I don't care if it's a technique that works great and up north or wherever. I'm going to try them here on Kissimmee. Stickers, some Mustad size 2 hooks. I guess this is for wacky rigging. So you've got your hooks, nail weights, your wacky rig tool, and a couple of baits that you could wacky rig, plus a few cranks. Pretty decent haul. And then yes, stickers. Everybody loves stickers. I've got them all over the place, you know that. So that's your monster box. Okay, now for the 6-sack. This is one I bought for myself after listening to Nathan and Quentin rave about them for months. I decided to give it a whirl myself. I've had this subscription almost a year now. And there's your 6-sack. Alright, let's see what we got in the sack. And by the way, these sacks are handy for keeping miscellaneous loose stuff together in your truck or the boat, or I've got them even on in here. So nice sack. Alright, let's see what we got. Wow. Alright, so we got a Cloud 9 Mini Mag SB 3.8. That is a big crank. Silent. Dives 3 to 6. Big profile. Got a lot of purple in it. That'll work great for imitating bluegill. Alright, we got swim bait hooks. Bladed. Oh, so these are the, I like these. Alright, so this is similar to Nathan's flashy tail spinny thingy secret weapon we were using last year. But this is a swim bait hook with a spinning blade underneath. So you get the flash that you'd like to have, plus you get a solid hook with a swim bait hook keeper, so your baits ought to stay pretty much intact. 4-inch swim bait. It's called the Whale. It says perfectly balanced action. Well, we're going to have to put it on the bladed swim bait hook and give it a whirl. It's got a big paddle tail in it, so we'll see how that works out. Oh, a swim jig, a swinging swim jig. So this is the kind that has the head on a pivot from the hook, which I've got a few of these. I used one last year for a little bit, but I didn't use it that long. This one's a 6/0 hook, so you ought to be able to put a monster bait on that. It's got a screw-in bait keeper, So you can Texas rig it, and you could swim this through anything. Especially the heavy peppergrass we got right now in Cypress. That looks pretty exciting about that. The Quake, a suspending rattle trap. Huh. Something I don't fish a lot. The lipless crankbaits, but this bait could dive or suspend slow floating depending on the water temperatures and depths of 2 to 3 feet. So you can work this over top of the grass patches and on the outside edges of Kissimmee grass. That's interesting. I'm definitely going to try that one. The Crush. Now I have a couple of these. These tiny little crankbaits are deadly, but you have to throw them either on spinning gear or like I've set up those medium light extra fast rods for throwing tiny little baits to replace the spinning gear in my boat. I like having the control of the cast with the bait casting gear using the BFS system. But this has been in my arsenal for a few months now. The small swim bait or crankbaits, and this one looks like it dives to maybe 2 feet max. But yep, definitely worth it. All right, we got a Crush. This is a little bigger profile. This is the 50X, and it's going to dive a little bit deeper. But again, bluegill colors, got purple in the top of it. Awesome. And then with every 6 sack, you get a code for this one. Ooh, this one's 20% off swim jigs. And so if you like this is the one cool thing that I do really like about 6 Cents, is they'll send you one to play with. And if you like it, you wind up getting usually a code. I got one last month here for 10% off of anything, I believe. Yep, 10% off of anything came in my box last month. I haven't used it yet. And this one is a special offer, so 20% off of this Axel swim jig. So anyway, that's the 6 sack. Okay, that's it for your 3 boxes. Out of those boxes, I pulled the stuff that I don't normally use that I'm going to start using this month. And this is where the value comes in any subscription type boxes. Yes, you got value in the crankbaits and in the trailers and in the hooks and whatever that you already use. The real hidden value in these boxes is the stuff that you don't normally use. I pulled a couple things out of each box that I am actually going to try in the next 30 days. This one is definitely going to run because we've got shad spawning, we've got bass spawning. There's going to be a lot of tiny little bait. Downsize your gear, throw this around the outside edges of the spawning area and hang on. Just make sure with these small hooks you've got drag set or you've got light power rods. This is a technique that I have basically refused to use, and that's the wacky rig. I don't know why, but now that I have everything I need, came in the monster box, for these fish that are getting hammered by this cold fronts we're going to have. I mean, Christmas is going to be 36 degrees. They are going to be very lethargic. It's going to take a wacky, slow presentation probably to get a bite between Christmas and New Year's. And then this Axel jig and these swim baits, when it does finally warm up in the afternoons, I'm going to be swimming this around the outside edges of the Kissimmee grass, looking for pre and post spawners who are hungry, feeding up, and it's a nice size meal for them. Maybe I'll catch a monster. So there's your value. Not what you thought I was going to show you. Give one a try, or better yet, when your spouse or your family asks you, what can I get you for Christmas, and they never can buy you fishing gear because you always buy whatever you want when you need it anyway. So tell them you'd like to try it. Doesn't matter which one. I do have a preference. I'm not going to tell you what it is because they're all, each month, one wins over the other one as far as I'm concerned, as far as value and replacing gear that you already use. They all have the value of trying to get you to think about your techniques in a little different way. Anyway, that's what I got for you this morning. Hopefully in the next couple of days I'll finish up my meds, get over this flu crap, and I'll be out on the water. So until then, thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next time.